With a third of households not coping and even calling it as far as the cost of living crisis, there's no doubt that living has gotten more expensive in the last few months. Bad news after bad news, like 4 out of 10 people has less than $1,000 saved. Petrol could go to $4 a litre, and outrage over cauliflower costing $14.49 means the end is near. For the record, by the way, I'm not a fan of cauliflower even before the price rise. Then there's interest rates increasing. This will affect most New Zealanders in some way or another. So it's best that I share what I know to minimize the impact of these financial changes, especially those living week to week. So in today's video, I want to talk about 5 ways where you should invest your money right now to set yourself up for a better financial future. What is up everybody, Gifford here, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about personal finance, property investing, and my stock market journey. Please help me out and invest in hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in these topics. It's no surprise that costs are going up and worrying about money is crippling. Feeling hopeless, stuck to a job you might not even like, to then end each week with less money than you started with. So let's start with number 1 on where to invest your money, and that is invest in yourself. Yes, I know that's a classic one. Gifford, you're a damn genius. But bear with me for a moment. Most people think they need to spend money straight away, however, it doesn't cost a thing. Well, it does. It's called effort and determination and wanting to better your future for yourself. The hardest thing in starting your journey is by taking the time to sit down and think about how to better your financial future. Figuring out what your short-term goals are and your long-term goals. Once you have some idea of what these look like, it's now time to seek out and study using free online resources. There's plenty of videos on free courses on how to make a budget, listening to audiobooks, and information on investing. If free content is not for you, you can progress into paid courses, as generally these are more structured with monitored learning outcomes where YouTube videos are in a topic but delivered in a random order. From here, I highly recommend to learn about self-review. Reviewing your personal progress week to week helps to see if you're on track to meet your goals. To track these goals, you'll need to learn how to use Microsoft Excel or free online version like Google Sheets. A big challenge when I started investing in myself was that I didn't have any money. I overcame this by getting a second job in the weekend to increase my income in the short term. This extra money allowed me to pay for information I needed to make the next step towards making more money. A really important advice I was given by a millionaire was, you don't need to be a master. You just need to keep learning and trying, and eventually one thing will go your way. That brings me on to number 2, which is setting up and building an emergency fund. As you learn about money, understand it's not evil and it's just a tool to use. You'll then know the importance of an emergency fund. It is money set aside to the value of about 3 months of living expenses to handle, you guessed it, financial emergencies. Its main job is to keep you following your strict budget, to use if your car breaks down or random bills that pop up trying to derail your weekly savings plan. By having an emergency fund, this buys you time by paying the debt quickly, figuring out how to stop and minimize it happening the next time. Then plan to pay back the money into the fund in the future. All the while you still achieve your savings target for that week. This is a critical step to following a budget so you can build wealth. Let's be real, this is life. There's always unexpected bills that comes up, and that's exactly what this is for. Cash in your bank account and able to access any time. Used for forward planning, already having solutions in place and process steps to pay that money back up. And I guarantee this will relieve you of mental financial stress. There is a downside to this, it's gonna stop you having fun. If you have a big weekend coming up to spend money, then you'll know it's not really the best idea to spend that money if your emergency fund needs topping up. Having an emergency fund will get you closer to your bigger financial goals. The third thing to invest your money after all that is KiwiSaver. If you don't think this is a good idea, then I don't think you know what KiwiSaver is. KiwiSaver is a government savings plan that gives you 100% return on your investment. By signing up to the scheme and depositing $1,042.86 over the year, that's just a little over $20 a week. The government will contribute $531.43. But not only that, your employer will contribute 3% of your weekly pay into your KiwiSaver as well. This basically means you save $1,000 every week, you get another for free. That's why it's so damn good. I know that the concept of investing can be difficult to believe, however, stick with me. I'm going to tell you about compound investing. If you are 20 years old and just save $2,000 each year for 45 years till you retire, this works out to only be $90,000. But with the power of compound investing and stock market investing, assuming only 10% annual return each year would give you just over $1.4 million at retirement. This is powerful stuff. So moving on to the fourth, which is investing directly into the stock market outside KiwiSaver. Investing long term can generate such massive returns. There's a reason why rich people do it and they stay damn rich too. The very first time that stock market investing popped into my head, I admit I was pretty damn intimidated about the whole idea 2 years ago. Knowing what I know now, you don't have to. This isn't financial advice, but it's actually pretty easy just by investing into this one stock called VT. Let me tell you the steps right now because it's that easy. Open up a brokerage, save money each week, ready to invest. Invest that money into VT Index Fund or its long name Vanguard Total World Fund, and that's it. By investing into VT, you own mostly all the stocks in the world. You ride the lows and you ride the highs, but as the world gets richer, so do you. No need to waste time looking up stock market information. All you do is focus on saving money, investing, and then moving on to better things like figuring out how to increase your income streams. Remember, the stock market doesn't always go up. We could have some critical event that causes the stock market to lose all its value, taking your money with it. It seems impossible, however, nobody knows. With that aside, my only advice is that different brokerages are better than others when investing into this style, so watch those fees. While I invest in high risk individual stocks, VT moves a lot slower as it's a massive index. However, it is the very reason why it's also a lot safer for the average investor. No tweet from Elon Musk will tank the price by minus 20%. So using the similar example from the Kiwi saving investing returns, if you invested $100 each week over the same period of 45 years, starting from 20 years old, with only a 10% return, you would have a whopping $3.45 million at 65. So those numbers are pretty crazy when you start investing at such a young age for so long. So I'll put the calculator down in the description to try for yourself. So the fifth and final place to invest your hard-earned money is saving for a house deposit. Now alone, this is a pretty big topic. However, I'll just summarize a few points why owning a house is a key factor in being financially free. Since the world uses money or currency, houses will always go up in price. This is due to government policy that allows for money printing. Pretty much just by adding more money to the system, therefore making existing money worth less, not to be confused with worthless. What I'm trying to say is that your buying power is getting lower each time they print money. As the world keeps getting more in debt, I've found that house prices go up in price. While this doesn't make you financially free alone by owning a house and not renting, over time the amount you pay per week reduces. And if you pay off your mortgage, your living expenses now become zero. How good is that? One of the rules of personal finance is to lower your weekly expense by having a mortgage that reduces, unlike paying rent, which you have no control over. By the way, if you're renting, the costs likely will go up over time. Now don't get me wrong, the numbers to buy a house for you have to make sense. And I will always recommend buying a house that matches your income. And with today's market, I don't think I could afford to buy either. While doing some research, historically, houses have doubled in price about 13 years in New Zealand. Now, just like the stock market, this isn't guaranteed to happen each 13 years. However, in the last 30 years has certainly continued this trend. Also learning and researching of many New Zealand millionaires, property has played a big part in one way or another. Like it or not, most people's wealth is tied up in property, including my own. With the constant presence of inflation, in my experience, carries with it rising house prices. Just look at the popular cities around the world and how much prices have increased over time. And the never-ending question of what happens if the property prices crash. And my answer to that is that at the end of the day, you bought a house to live in and use as your home on this earth. So the key takeaway part here is that investing in a house deposit to one day buy your own house means that your living expenses will lower over time. Well, that is enough for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, please hit the like button on the video. It helps me out a lot to get this video out to reach new people who follow my passion for investing, and feel free to subscribe to be closer to financial freedom. I also have Instagram where I post my trades every now and then along with stock market news, so don't forget to follow me there. If you're thinking about home ownership, click this video right now. We'll show you an example of how to calculate the amount of mortgage you'll pay per week. May the gains be with you, and I'll see you in the next one.